Oh, and first pitch crushing. Oh, man. Lean into it.
I wanted to touch base with both of you and just see what you got your thoughts on once we come out of this lockout, where these some of these top free agents are going to land. First on my list, I think the top free agent in category wise would be like Carlos Correa. Like I feel like he's going to be on the Phillies, but I honestly think he might be on the Dodgers.
So I think that, the back injury, the rumors of the back injury is kind of a humbling thing for him. I'm thinking that maybe he's gonna look at this as like, hey, maybe I wasn't the star that I thought I was. I didn't have all these crazy offers that I should have, and maybe he's thinking to himself, "There's no place like home." And maybe at this point, like once we get out of this lockout, he's gonna get whatever he can get, and right now he can get it from the Houston Astros.
I have him going to the Yankees. I feel like once this lockout is done, with all the Yankees fans who have been pretty vocal about the Yankees not doing anything this offseason, I feel like that pressure. I feel like Brian Cashman might finally budge and be like, screw it.
So do you think even with the comments that he made about Derek Jeter that they'll still go after him? I picture like Trevor Story. Like I had Trevor Story going to the Rangers and Seager going to the Yankees. But then once the Rangers signed Seager, I was like, okay, what about Story to the Yankees?
See, I don't know if the Yankees care that much. I mean, like Derek Jeter, yes, for fans, Yankee legend, but he's the Marlins owner. Like I really don't think they care that much, and they can always say it was his opinion because it was his opinion on what a good defensive shortstop is, and he said Jeter wasn't a good defensive shortstop. I feel like money talks at the end of the day, and I feel like if the Yankees want to, they'll offer him stupid money. So that's why I say Yankees. But you brought up Trevor Story. I have Trevor Story going to the Phillies. I feel like he's a good fit for the Phillies.
See, we have it flopped on
Yeah,
that one. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I feel like the Phillies will utilize him better, and he kind of fits. He's been in the NL his whole career. He's an NL player. I know that
Yeah.
the universal DH is gonna probably be into effect after the lockout, but I can't see him in the AL at least not right now.
I say that he's like going to be the last domino to fall. Like everybody's going to get their payday, their big checks, and then whatever team that's left over that missed out on the two big guys, they'll go after Story. So Phillies kind of they fall into that.
Okay. How about Shy? What do you think about Chris Bryant?
Chris Bryant, we haven't really heard too much from his camp. There hasn't been really too many rumors. So I'm kind of leaning towards it's going to be a conservative decision, and that always circles back to the last team he played with. So I think he stays with San Francisco because he's going to be on a competitive team and he's going to get that money and he's close to home. He's from Vegas, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Mariners. I feel like the Mariners need him. I feel like they have a hole at third base. They're trying to contend in the AL. I feel like they would pay him the most money. Regardless of any team that's out there really right now that would have a need for him, I feel like the Mariners fit that. So I have him going to the Mariners.
So I was reading a tweet from John Heyman who had him linked to the Mets, Angels, Padres, Seattle, Philly, and San Francisco. And I agree with you. I think he's going back to, or he's going to Seattle. I feel like that's where I've always thought he was going to go. I feel like that's the biggest need they need, and I feel like he just fits right into them. But one of the guys we spoke about a few weeks ago, Freddie Freeman. Where do you see Freddie Freeman going, Dwayne?
Y'all know my take. Freddie Freeman to LA. Freddie Freeman's a Dodger. He's just waiting for this lockout to sign. I mean, this lockout to end. I guarantee you the contract's already drawn up. Pen's right there. He's just like, all right, man. As soon as they end this, I'm out of here. So I got Freddie Freeman to LA. I think that's the best fit for him. I think that he wants to be home. I think he's had his time in Atlanta, but he's like, you know what? I've been spending all lockout at my house. I want to do this for the next 6 to 7 years. So I got Freddie Freeman to the Dodgers.
The fact that the Braves weren't able to like sign him before the lockout was just plain disrespectful. Like if you want him, he's a franchise player. They're a franchise player. If you want him, you make it happen. They didn't make it happen. So I think the Dodgers marked two boxes off for him: home and money. He's going to get it both.
Yeah, so that's what I have it like a 50-50 toss up between LA and Atlanta, just because he seems like he would be that, like, you know what, I'll stay with this team even at a player's rate, but don't disrespect me. And like you said, if they didn't do it before the lockout, that's kind of disrespectful because they offered him what, 5 years, 135, and he's like, no, do better. And I felt like they didn't do it, and they knew they had this lockout coming. It wasn't like they woke up the next day. It was like, oh crap, we have today to figure this out. So I also agree. How about Clayton Kershaw? Since we were talking about the Dodgers.
Shy.
I say he stays with the Dodgers. He's the type of player that is loyal. You could tell he wants to stay on the Dodgers. It's gonna be the money if the Dodgers are willing to give him what he wants, and I think they do because they have plenty of money left over, right? It's not like they made a bunch of moves.
I'm gonna say that Clayton Kershaw retires. He's done his time. He's won his chip. He'll go down as a Hall of Famer, probably the greatest lefty of this generation. Some can argue the greatest pitcher of this generation. I also feel like I don't know what he knows about his arm injury, but I think at this point it's going to be based off that arm. And if he feels like his arm can hold up for another big contract, then he might turn around and be like, all right, I'll play. But if he feels like if whatever doctor talks to him and says that, hey, this might be a pretty long rehab, you're going to have to come back, you might not have the same velocity, you might have to XYZ, I think he's going to look at what Buster Posey did. I know he's pretty friendly with Buster Posey. I'm pretty sure they talked about Buster Posey's decision, and he might look at it like, you know what, I might ride off in the sunset too before, because I don't think people, like certain players of that caliber, want to hit that decline. And I can't see in my mind, like, and it's already kind of starting to happen, Clayton Kershaw on a decline.
Yeah.
So I feel like he's gonna retire.
See, I have him going to Texas, the Rangers. I felt once the Dodgers didn't offer the qualifying offer, I felt like he was just going to go to Texas. His last one maybe 2 years in Texas in his home state. That's where I thought. But someone who's been linked to Texas recently, who I had going to the Pirates, was Seiya Suzuki. So he's been linked to the Red Sox, Yankees, Dodgers, and Rangers recently. I, with that knowledge, I think the Rangers are in a good spot. They have the money. They have the space for him, and I feel like with what they're doing, I feel like it would be exciting, and it's a risk that they should take. Where do you think he's going to go?
I'm gonna say Rangers as well. I feel like that team already is constructed for him, and honestly, if I'm him, I mean, I know it doesn't matter about negotiating because it's whoever posts the most money, but that situation just seems like heaven. If you're a hitter, you're probably gonna hit either in front of Seager and Simeon or behind Seager and Simeon, so people are gonna avoid them to get to you. You're the rookie, you're the unproven one. So to me, that would be the best situation. And I have Nick Castellanos going to the Giants. I feel like with the universal DH, if it comes into effect, I feel like the Giants will definitely give him a bag to go out there and just be a huge bat for them. So I say San Francisco.
I foresee the Angels, and hear me out, guys. They're gonna get rid of either Marsh or Adele for pitching. They're going to need to replace that person in right field, and they're going to platoon whoever's left over with Upton in left field. And people forget that we have another prospect and outfielder by the name of Jordan Adams, who's really good. He's probably going to be better than both Marsh and Adele. I think he's athletically going to be way better. So I definitely see us going after that after we trade one of our guys.
So I had on my list for Big Stick Nick, I had San Francisco as well. But you just made a compelling argument because, like I've said before previously on different episodes, that I believe that Adele or Marsh will be traded for pitching. So I never put that in perspective, and I think he'd be a great fit, especially in right field there, him, Trout, and then once Upton's gone after this year, whoever is left out, Adele or Marsh, and like you said, Adams is working his way up. So
Oh,